Okay, installing my jeco clock, laying on the ground there. I did the unthinkable, well, at least the most stressful job so far, drilling a hole right through the dash, but I measured it well, it's in the right spot. Now I'm gonna tap what I found. I'm not sure if this was originally for the lighter, but these here are, they're on the lighter. Battery, like this is hot ground, and this is on ignition here. This, I believe, will just turn the light on. Oh, it is. It's powered by the light. Actually, I tested it already. It's not just ignition. This is powered by the light. So I think it's in line with the dimmer. So I'm going to basically splice off of each of these and take it to the same colors on here. Yeah. So just got to run some wires and it's going to be in. Okay, now I made a couple splitters so that I can easily plug into the existing wiring that was there and just run them off the same cables. Should be fine. That's just running a little clock. So trying to get those installed. Okay, now I've got the wires that are going to connect. Sorry, this is not a very good situation. But I'm going to run from the hole down to this power supply. And the best thing to always do before you do anything is always to dry run. You may notice that I have two red wires here. It's because I don't have white wire right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to label both sides of it. So that way it's easy to know. But the other thing that's kind of cool that most of you probably already know, but maybe some of you don't. Do you ever wonder why one side, or which is the right side to have the exposed male plug and the female plug? The way that I've always understood it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is it makes sense to me, is the side that is shielded, the female side like this, is always the one that's going to be delivering power. That's the way I think of it, because that's why it's shielded, so it's not going to short out on anything else or touch something else that could cause a short. Whereas the side that is exposed, the male side, is the side that is going to be receiving power. So that makes sense, because when you unplug it, if it's not receiving power anymore, it's completely safe to touch to anything. It's just could be a ground, could be whatever. But that's the way I look at it. Maybe it's slightly off. If there's a real electrician in here, you can tell me where I'm off, but that's the way I understand it. So I'm going to hook these up now and try it out. I'm going to dry run it first before I put it through and secure it in. So let's try. Okay, I've got them all hooked up now, going from there to there. And as you can see, and maybe hear, she's running. Beautiful. Now the last thing to check is whether the light is working. So if I turn my lights on, voila, there was light. Right, so everything is hooked up properly. I can now kind of bind them together, label them a bit, and put it in. Okay, all done. What I've actually done, which I think is a good way of doing it instead of labeling, I just found some white heat shrink and just put it around here and just heat it up, so that way at the ends it's white, even though in the middle it isn't, on both sides. All right, so they're ready to be run. I'm just going to run them through now and hook everything up. Okay, so the cable I did was pretty long. I wanted extra just in case. You never know, but I've just zap strapped it up just to make sure that it's nice and tidy, so that helps. Now it's time to actually put it in. So now that it's all nice and zap strapped up, I can shove the extra in here first. Now I'm going to hook it up and I'm going to put the bracket on and it should be done. Again, a final test. She is working. She's all hooked up. All right, let's put her in. All right, she is now in. Sitting nice and flush. Yes, I know my veneer on here is really cracked. It's the original. I'm thinking of getting just some stuff from Amazon that looks the same. But other than that, it is sitting perfectly flush. It's working. I just got to set the time properly. One thing you need to realize if you're putting these in, there is a bit on this outside casing here. There is a flat spot that was on the wrong spot for me because I had taken this off to clean and repaint the hands, and when I put it back on, the flat spot was up here on the side on the top, and I couldn't figure out why when I was putting it in it wasn't sitting flush all the way around. And then when I took it off, I realized that flat spot is meant to go right on the bottom so that it fits in with this with the bottom lip of the dash. So once I realized that, after struggling for like 15 minutes, rearranged it, and it went in nice and snug and totally flush. So so that's it. Now it's time for the least fun part, which is cleanup. But hopefully that helped anybody who wants to put in one of these really cool jeco clocks. In case I didn't actually show the size that I was using of the hole drill. This is a 54 millimeter. Now it actually calls for 56 millimeter in the instructions. This works fine. What I ended up having to do was drill the hole out, and then I used this to I just sped it around and kind of push the edges out a little bit more. You may need to file it out just a little bit more if it's a little too snug, but the 54 millimeter seemed to work just fine. Anyways, hope you enjoyed.